to get started, I'll just go in with my stabilo. Let's see, I use stabilo and let me see if I can find all my brushes. I'll be right back. I forgot some of my brushes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of work on these two together, and I think that'll help. It won't make these so precious. So I'm just going to start in with my stabilo pencil and kind of go over some of these features. And I'll give you a nice wash and put water on it. I might have her eyebrow, one going down, one going up. Over to this one. This one's a little more attentive. She's pretty strong. I'm thinking a little weird nose like that. I might have her not sad, but not like super happy. We'll see. Everything changes. Okay, and then get my brush. And start moving some of this pencil around. Put it under there. Don't worry at this stage, just especially if it's in this book. This is just kind of a practice of getting used to this, and some of them you may do and it will just, you get the expression you want with very little strokes and be done with it. I kind of like some of that almost the way it is. I might just let this one dry, and then I'll go in with my fine pencil and do a little bit of line work. But I just like how that looks. And so often I tend to, overwork something. Although I do love doing layers, but sometimes I move past that sweet spot. And that's pretty expressive. So I'm going to leave that one alone. And I'm just going to work on this one. I mean, you can have a couple going, and that way you just kind of, you don't get tied into one. Yeah, see, I kind of like that weird little nose going like that. think as I worked on that other one, I actually had worked on that one before, and I'm going to show that after these, but this, I actually worked on this one first, and it really had a lot of layers to it. I don't know, I kind of like these just the way they are. For some reason, I'm like, I might leave these and I'll start some other ones and work on them. But for some reason I'm liking these just the way they are. So that's it. I'm going to stop. That took what? Nothing. As I said, I might go in and with my really fine pencil, and do some, I'm going to wait till that's dry, but kind of do some little scribbly marks. And I'll demo that. Once these are really dry, I'll just go in and demo just doing some some nice little expressive scribbly marks. That was easy. Okay, so I will have to start on another one now. Okay, so I have my light pencil marks down, and now I'm just getting my stabilo. Just putting in the placements. Okay, now I'm just adding water to the stabilo. Okay, now I'm going in with some burgundy yellow ochre. So this is primarily the technique I use in all my girls for this class. You can stop with just the watercolor, but then if you want to go further with the white paint, you can do that. But this one is going to be a watercolor. Okay, and then that's some of the alizarin crimson. Just softening all that up. Now trying to connect those flowers so that it becomes part of her. So with a bigger brush, I'm just moving that around. Okay, that's going in with some of the Cad Red. See, I'm just kind of dabbing. It's wet on wet, so I'm just kind of dabbing the color in there. And then I pull some of it over. I just pull some of it into a bigger area. It's still really, really soft. Okay, going back with burgundy yellow ochre. It's still pretty wet. Everywhere there's watercolor, it's all pretty wet. So this is kind of traditional watercolor, except maybe for the stabilo. Okay, so now I'm adding some ultramarine blue. Everything is still wet. So mixing that in a little bit so we have some variation of gray tones. Okay, now adding some of the alizarin. Actually, I'm just going in with my wet brush and just kind of lifting certain areas. And then that just softens it. You do that and then you wipe your brush and then go back in. So you start to get this molding effect, three-dimensional. See, I'm doing the same thing there. I get my brush, wipe some off on the paper, and then I wipe my brush and go back in. And you can do this all while the watercolor is still wet. See, just softening up some of those edges. Okay, then And going back in with Stabilo. You take your time with this. Just go slowly, because the further we get in this class, it's going to be a lot of layers. So, and you can work on them faster because we're mixing them with more opaque paint. But for a watercolor, you want to just kind of it's contemplative. You just kind of look at it, move back, and then just, especially with this technique of wet on wet, you have to really be aware of what color is going on top. So then I'm going in with the cerulean blue and just kind of creating those little dots, extending those dots that was in the flower motif before. Okay, just going back in and softening again. Yeah, I'm starting to see abstract shapes, so I'm using that wet brush as an eraser to just kind of emphasize those shapes. Okay, so I'm adding some of that crimson, and it's pulling that. I'm blowing it. So you start to get these drips. There you go. You can see it better. Okay, and then I'm going back in with Stabilo and pencil. It's much easier to work with a pencil without a lot of layers of white acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm kind of duplicating. This is alizarin crimson. So I'm just creating these little shapes to blend in with the flowers above. Yeah, as you'll see as we go on with the course, you're going to see that a lot of what I do with the watercolor is patterns. It's not realistic. It's working with patterns. So this, I'm just creating another little floral shape. To work with the ones above. Okay, now going in and extending some of those lines down into her head. Just going in with that darker perylene to bring out the eyes. And that's using some of the ultramarine. Just delicate little dabs here and there. And that's using the undersea green. Going in with the bigger brush, just adding some of those elements down in there. And just a few more, and almost done with this one. So this will probably be the only pure watercolor I do in this class.